This is the interview with Mrs. Correa. So, my first question for you is, how do you communicate with parents?
I think the best way to communicate with parents is through email or phone calls. At the first of the year, I always make quite a few phone calls, just positive, reaching out to them, letting them know that their student's doing a great job, especially if I potentially see behavior issues. You always want to have a positive phone call before you have that first negative phone call. And then weekly emails and a SMORE or some kind of website that you update them on is helpful too.
What advice would you give me about being a teacher and using social media?
I think the advice about being a teacher is you just have to be passionate about it. If you're passionate about it, you'll do well because the rest will come later. You have professional development and you have college still to come. Um, and I think if you just have the passion for teaching kids and being with kids, the rest will fall into place. For social media, that is not my strength, but I think that the SMORE that we do weekly is helpful for parents, and there's lots of apps out there that would be helpful, like Remind and things to stay in touch with parents. But you have to know your parents, and whatever they use, you should use.
What collaboration do you do with your grade level team or content team?
Our grade level team meets at least once a month as with the principal, and so we have some time there to think about bigger goals like district goals and building goals that we have. But within our grade level, we meet whenever necessary. Sometimes it's every day at plan time, and sometimes it's 3 times a month. It just depends on the needs of the curriculum. And especially being new to a grade level, I have an awesome team and I can meet with them anytime that I need to. So that's helpful too.
What are two different ways you integrate technology into your classroom?
We are 2 to 1, so we don't have 1 to 1, but we try to use the computers at least for math. And as we get into the year and kids get more familiar with using the computers, we'll use them more often for research and for informational writing. Um, And I also use the smartboard every day. Our PowerPoints start our day, and we use a lot of video, Brain Pop Junior, and other media sites that are helpful to kids learning in a different way. And our Pearson Math is a daily video as well.
What advice would you give me as a first year teacher?
As a first year teacher, just don't take anything too seriously. There's going to be a lot that comes your way that gets you down, and you're going to think, I can't do this. This is too hard. People expect too much of me, but it will get better every year. The first year is the hardest, and if you just keep plugging along and doing your best and taking feedback from anyone, especially your mentor, um, you'll continue to improve. No one does an amazing job their first year, so you just have to believe that it will get better.
What advice would you give me as a student about to go to college?
I would say take your time. I changed my major multiple times before I got to this career. So I would take your time and don't rush it. Don't just assume that you're going to be a teacher and plow through. Really take time to take your summers off and decide, is this really something I want to do? Take opportunities like you are now to do internships and figure out if this is really something you'd like to do long term before you commit to it.
All right, thank you so much.
You're welcome.